Hello and welcome to AppeGeek, a fun twist on a cooking show where three geeky friends come together to bring our favorite fandoms to life by whipping up tasty dishes in our home kitchens based on and inspired by our favorite games, shows, movies, and more. I'm Rach.
I'm Nora.
I'm Jeremy.
And we are three geeks who play with our food.
All right, back-to-back Dani Rojas episodes.
Yes! Dani Rojas!
Fan club, right here.
Two different Dani Rojas, but,
Yes.
or three, I guess, because you got either gender Dani
True,
Rojas,
yeah,
but
yeah.
So welcome to our Far Cry 6 episode of AppeGeek, where we are covering basically some stuff found in the cantina in Far Cry 6 that you will encounter as Dani Rojas, which is funny if you watched our last episode, which was Ted Lasso. Obviously, then if you watch Ted Lasso, you know.
It's up in the eye.
Got
You missed it.
Go there. Go check it out.
Revolution is life.
Exactly. Exactly.
We're just going to keep going with it. It's gonna
On and on. That's the whole show. We're not even going to cook anything. We're just going to keep making Dani Rojas puns and references.
That's it, guys.
No dogs were murdered in the making of this show.
No, that's what happened to Chorizo.
Oh!
That's where he came from. That's his origin story. Don't ask Ubisoft. They'll tell you a different story. It's a big cover, I think.
Yeah.
But
Conspiracy.
yeah.
Same dog from Ted Lasso.
For sure. A different dog breed and everything, but it doesn't matter. But no, I started playing this game. You actually got it for me for Christmas. I got interested in it because of the cast, and I thought that sounded awesome. So I got it for Christmas, and it is so much fun. It's another one of those games that, like Witcher for me, where I'm doing everything but playing the game the way it's intended to be played, I think.
I thought you were going to talk about you just try to find Henry Cavill.
Oh, well, if he's in the game, I mean, I'm happy to look for him. But Witcher I modded so much that I didn't really accomplish anything. And then in this, I am spending all my time fighting chickens and dressing my amigos up in different outfits and trying to have a fight with myself about whether I should buy a cosmetic item from the Ubi store that I absolutely don't need.
Answer's always yes.
Right?
You do need.
So I've actually been having a ton of fun with it, though. I mean, I think it's a good balance of a nice storyline with a point, but there's enough wacky stuff that just keeps it fun. It keeps it from being too heavy. And I think part of the lightheartedness and the roaming around with Wapo, a crocodile companion, is really good too, because for me, I'm not that great at stealth and that sort of stuff. So it could be I die a lot. That's just how I play. I die a lot. But it's just that level of zaniness of being able to just roll into a place and send a crocodile in and just bite some guy on the butt that I'm just okay, I've died 400 times and I still want to play more. I don't get frustrated. Yeah.
I'm still playing Witcher. I haven't gotten to play Far Cry 6 yet. I'm trying to get all the stuff in Skellige Isles. It takes forever. I will say it's great, killing ghouls and stuff, and having Macarena playing over top of it.
Oh my god, that gun is my favorite thing. I want a mod of it to add that to every other game I play. It's the best.
Immediately no.
And you just see your little chorizo wheeling out there, and you're just standing in the back playing Macarena. It's great. And I have learned so much colorful Spanish from the game that I absolutely can't use in any setting whatsoever. But
except here.
Yeah.
Except when the camera's not on.
Right.
Yeah.
I started playing after you got it for Christmas. That's how it goes here. But that's true. I am a PC gamer through and through. My whole life, I cannot use a controller, but I'm trying. So I'm not going very fast. I'm just kind of going in circles and with my little crocodile. But I love it. It is fun.
You are playing the drunk quest line without playing the drunk quest line.
Yes.
Okay.
On a different path.
So yeah, when I got far enough in the game where I unlocked the cantina and started seeing the different recipes you could have for it, then immediately I thought, okay, we should do a show, because I'm just loving the game, and I was like, this is a great topic for us to cover. And there were so many different options with the cantina. It was really hard to narrow them down, but we just kind of went with some stuff that just sounded fun. So you are making our savory dish, our main or appetizer, or whichever. I think it really could serve as either one.
I think this is all, yeah, it can be any and all. It is Ninja Nachos. Who doesn't like a good nachos? And in the game, this is used for a stealth bonus. I haven't bought it or used it, but it's in there. Yeah, this is a Japanese fusion twist, this fake Cuban place. It's nachos, so it's got your cheese and your tortilla chips, and we're actually using chorizo.
Not the dog.
Oh,
not
disclaimer.
No harm will ever come to chorizo.
We will never go down that road. But we're also having some Japanese flavors with some, I'm not going to pronounce the seasonings. There's some seaweed and some Japanese pop spice kind of seasonings in the mix. Sorry, words. It's nachos.
With a ninja twist.
Yes.
I think they sound really good. So I'm going to do the dessert portion, and I can't say this, so it was dumb of me to have chosen it. But I'm going to make the Yarampanadas.
That was really good.
Thanks. We're going to go with it. Yara empanadas, essentially. Now, you trade meat to make these in the game. I don't know. I thought a dessert empanada sounded better, and it doesn't really give you any detail about what's in the recipes in the game anyway. So I decided to make a guava cheese empanada. Yara being this fake Caribbean place, I try to go with like recipes that you would find in on the Caribbean islands, and this is one that came up. I've given a little bit of a twist to it and made it more of a cheesecakey type feeling as opposed to just a cheese filling, which is more common. So I guess kind of switched it up a little bit, but I think it'll be really tasty. It's going to be one that's really easy to make. So these are, I think empanadas are always impressive. So there's something you can whip up real quick and easy and have a really impressive dish, I think. So hopefully you'll enjoy.
Yeah,
Sounds great.
So in the game, the only drinking you really do is a lot of beer and rum. I'm doing a mocktail this episode, so we're going to have non-alcoholic beer. No, actually.
I was supporting him, like, yes, that's great.
No, so I'm doing Caribbean Latin American fusion here. So we're going to go with a Agua Fresca. It's strawberry chia.
Ooh,
Should
that
be pretty
sounds good.
tasty.
Yeah. I imagine that's what you drink in the game to recover after you do that whole storyline with all the booze.
And all the billboards.
Yeah, the booze and the billboards.
Booze and billboards. Next episode.
All right. Well, we got a lot to cook, just like we have a lot of billboards to take care of in that quest line. So let's get to it.
All right, let's do it. Hello, friends. I am here to work on the Ninja Nachos, and to start that off, we're going to make our Yum Yum sauce. Now, you can just go and buy Yum Yum sauce if you do not want to make it. That's fine. I just wanted to make it a little bit special for our nachos. Here's what we're going to need. We're going to start out with rice vinegar. We need 1 tablespoon. And plop that in as we go. We have 1 tablespoon of melted butter. This is probably the only recipe where you're going to have to use melted butter. And let's see, we have got, now this is sweet paprika. It's Hungarian sweet paprika. If you've got smoked paprika, that'd be fine too, but since it's a lot of spices going on, I went with the sweet. And we need 1 teaspoon sweet paprika. We also need a teaspoon of garlic powder. We have a tablespoon of salt. Nope. Do not put a tablespoon of salt in this. That's sugar. That is sugar. We're going to use a teaspoon of salt. There we go. And now we're going to do 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. I just use the 2 because you only ever need like 1 or 2 tablespoons. And then you have this whole can. Oops. Squirt it in. This is why you prep your ingredients before you turn on the camera. The tomato paste squirting everywhere. Alright. That is good. And we have our Kewpie mayo. Now this is, it does taste different than regular mayo, but if you don't want to go out and buy it just for this nachos, you just use regular mayo, it's fine. So 1 cup of Kewpie mayo. Seriously. And that's how everybody just is in their kitchen, like stuff just flies everywhere, you get stuff all over you, it's fine. And just make sure I got everything. Pepper. I'm just going to eyeball. It's going to be about 1/2 teaspoon. If you want to measure it. Now, I have some water here. You're just going to stir it until you get to the consistency that you want. I like a little bit thinner so it can make that pretty drizzle design on top. If you want a thicker yum yum sauce, like if you want it for a chip or something that you needed to stand up to something, you can keep it just like this, a nice thicker. Then I'm going to add, I usually add 2 tablespoons. This is a little thick, so we'll see. I'll do 2. Give it a good stir and see if we need to add more. Yep, I think this is going to do it. Once you add the water in, because of the melted butter, it's going to go crazy and you're going to have to stir for 5 minutes, but that's okay. Yum Yum sauce is kind of like, I guess kind of like a fry sauce, like a Thousand Island dressing-y kind of fry sauce flavor. It's delicious. Nice little pink color. Alright, this is where I like it kind of like that. So you can just drizzle it on top and it won't be too messy. This is you want this to go in the fridge for as long as you can give it. Overnight is the best. The longer you can let these marinate together, all the ingredients, the more flavorful a sauce you're going to get, you know. Well, awkward. It takes us a little bit of time to warm up to each other. So I'm going to put this in the fridge at least an hour. I'm going to come back and start with the rest of the ingredients for the nachos. Hello friends, welcome back. I am here to walk you through our Ninja Nachos. What is wrong with me? Nachos. We have our Yum Yum sauce is doing its thing in the fridge, hanging out, making friends. So now we're going to move on to the next step. We're going to brown our chorizo. This is hot chorizo. I didn't want this. They substituted it in my Instacart. But you can use whatever chorizo you can handle. And I'm going to cook that. And also, this is a 1/2 head of cabbage that I just cut, sliced really thin, and kind of spread them all out. You want to try to get the core out because that's not going to soften and not be tasty on your nachos. We also have 1 avocado cubed, 4 green onions that are cut on the diagonal, salt and pepper, our tortilla chips. We have cheese. I just did the 5-ounce block, so it's 1 1/4 cup each of sharp cheddar and Monterey Jack. Yes, had to make sure. Now for the top, we also have tonkatsu sauce. I'm sorry, it's bulldog sauce. It's kind of equivalent to the HP brown sauce in the UK. Sort of like our A1 steak sauce here. It's just a little thinner. Some jalapenos for the top. And this is going to go in between our layers. It is a Japanese red pepper mix, shichimi togarashi. It has red pepper, salt, and seaweed. And we're also, I don't have it here, we're going to spice up some seaweed snacks and put those on the top too. So right now I'm going to go to the stove, cook up our chorizo and our cabbage, come back, pile everything on this cookie sheet, get in the oven so we can eat. See you back in a minute.
Adding 1 tablespoon of olive oil to a very hot pan. We're going to throw in our chorizo and we want to break that up into really small pieces. We want to be able to scoop it up with a nacho. So once that is brown, about 5 minutes, remove it from the pan and add our cabbage, our shredded cabbage. We want to let that wilt. We're going to leave it on there again about 6-7 minutes until it's really soft. Once it's soft, add the chorizo back to the pan and we're going to season it with our salt and pepper. We're going to let that sit and kind of marinate together for just a couple minutes, turn off the heat, and then we are ready to assemble our nachos.
We are ready to assemble our Ninja Nachos. First up, tortilla chips. I have the thick yellow corn chip. So I want to give it its best chance of staying in shape while it's in the oven. Staying in shape like it's going to the gym. Alright, just half of the bag. We're just going to layer everything on the cookie sheet. I'm just going to dump half the bag and then kind of arrange it to have some of the edges sticking out just so we can easily grab and dip. Alright, now we've got our cheeses. We're going to put half. Plop it on. It's nachos. Honestly, I've tried to make it pretty. You just can't. It just is what it is. Okay, now half of our chorizo cabbage mix. It's right in the middle. Ooh, I'm getting excited. It's going to be so good. All right, and now we're going to do our Japanese chili spice. What is it? Sorry. Sashimi Torgashi. I'm sorry. But there's a picture in case you want to look it up. This is 3 teaspoons, and I'm putting half on now. Ooh, has black sesame seeds, seaweed. What am I doing? Just dump the rest of the chips on and make it pretty. We won't make it. We'll do our best. Keep it towards the middle. There we go. Look at that. The rest is cheese. Yeah, this is just a light snack, when you're coming home from work before dinner. You're just hungry, you can't wait for dinner. Yeah. Just kidding. It's humongous. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Just dump the rest. Oh boy. Now the last bit of our seasoning. Oh, give me some hot stuff right in the middle. Now we are ready to stick this in a 400-degree oven for 6 to 7 minutes. Kind of watch it. We just want everything to just melt together. We can just scoop it up. So 6 to 7 minutes in the oven. I'm going to clean up, come back, and dig in. Oh my goodness, guys, look at this. It is a work of art. And
it looks delicious.
I'm not even gonna, let's just dig in.
Let's do it.
Going AppeGeek.
All the goodness here. Oh no, cabbage strings. Ah.
You know what, never mind, you're not going to want to share this. So good.
No, just set aside a day or two to recover because you're going to want to eat the whole thing.
Please don't eat the whole thing, but it's delicious.
So good, so good. The flavors really, I'm sorry buddy, we don't have any for you. The flavors, they just really like meshed together really well. Better than I would have thought for fusion.
And the spicy, I mean, it's not overwhelming. I thought with all the
just enough
spice.
spice to like give you a little kick, but
Yeah,
it
for nachos.
definitely is not like.
And even the seaweed on top with that little sea salt at the end. And the yum yum salt. I just can't. I can't.
No,
Do it.
they're fantastic. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to the mocktail portion of the show. We're making a Yara Fresca. So this is going to be a strawberry mint agua fresca. And we start with simple syrup. So instead of making your normal simple syrup, which is a 1-to-1 sugar and water ratio, this is going to be a much less sweeter version of it. So we are using a 1/4 cup of brown sugar and 6 cups of water. So you bring that water to a boil, add the brown sugar, cool it down. You have to cool it. I just stuck my pot in a pan of water and stirred it until it cooled. And then once that's cool, we can begin with the rest of the drink. Okay, now that we've made our simple syrup and let it cool, you can see it's brown and like your typical clear. We're gonna take our strawberries, which we have a pint of strawberries. I got the frozen ones and mashed them down with a fork. You can use fresh as well. Frozen was just easier because I didn't have to de-still them. And then you have 3 tablespoons of chia seeds. So what you want to do is take your strawberries, put them in your pitcher, decanter, skull you're going to make, whatever you feel is appropriate to drink out of. Alright, you're going to add all of your simple. Preferably to the pitcher and not your countertop. And then the part that means we wait even more. So you're going to add your chia seeds. Those get all situated in the water, and then you wait 10 minutes for them to kind of gel up. It's going to bring a lot of this liquid together and make it a more gelatin type drink. And we'll be back in 10 minutes from now. Alright, we have now let the chia seeds soak for about 10 minutes. They release that clear goo that chia seeds release. Makes it sound really appetizing, I know. So to make this, all you're going to do is add some ice to a glass. Stir this up because your seeds and strawberries will sink to the bottom. Pour over ice. I like to brew some mint leaves and put those in there as well. Best way to do that is just smack it. And then a slice of lime around the rim. You get that lime scent as you drink. And then put it on the rim for people to squeeze into their drink to the level of sour they desire. And with that, go on AppeGeek.
Let's jump in and start making these Yarampanadas. So I'm going to walk you through our ingredients. These are super easy to make. So the first thing that we're going to do is make ourselves a little creamy cheesy filling. So for that, we're going to use an 8-ounce block of cream cheese, 1 lime zested, so just the zest, the outer peel, what you would get from 1 lime's worth, a regular size one, not one of those massive ones. We've got a tablespoon of plain white sugar here and 1 egg. We're going to mix all of those together to make our cheesecake filling. But before we do that, let me talk you through the rest of the stuff you'll need for this recipe. We're going to use some pre-made pie crust. You can home make your own, or you can purchase this pre-made stuff. You need about 2 crusts worth, so if you're making your own, just make sure you do a double batch recipe or a recipe that has a top and bottom pie crust. Or if you're buying them, most of the time they come in a box like this with 2 crusts. Don't get the ones that are already fitted into a pie pan. You're just making a lot of work for yourself. These rolls are perfect. You're going to use some guava paste. Now this was something new to work with for me. But you can buy this sometimes at like Latin American food markets or Mexican grocery stores. Sometimes you can find this at Whole Foods. You can always reliably find it on Amazon. I got this in a pack of 3, I think, for like $6. And then we're only going to use about half of this for our recipes. This goes a good long way. We're going to top things off with an egg wash just to get our empanadas nice and brown. And then I'm going to show you a couple of kitchen gadgets that we're going to use. I've got a plain round cookie cutter here that I'm going to use to cut out our empanadas. If you don't have that, I've made these before, cutting them out using like a souffle dish. So just something nice, round, and fairly large will work. And then I've also got an empanada press here. This is just a little plastic thingy, essentially, that you're going to put your dough in, put your fillings in, and smush it together. If you don't have one, don't worry about it. I'm also going to show you how to do them without one. They just turn out really pretty this way. They look nice and professionally done. So first things first, let's make that cheesy filling. This is super simple. We're just going to dump those first few ingredients in a bowl. So we're going to dump our cream cheese, our lime zest, our egg, and our tablespoon of white sugar in a bowl. And then we're just going to use a hand mixer. You can also do this in a food processor or your stand mixer as well. But we're just going to get it all blended together, essentially, is all we're doing here. Lime is sticking. That's okay. It's our sugar. And our egg. So I'm just going to mix that up for just a couple of minutes. It's not like some of our bake recipes where you've got to mix it for 10 minutes or anything. Really just enough till you see it coming together, looking nice and creamy. Okay, so mine has come together here. You can see here it's not perfectly smooth, and that's okay. It's a filling, so you don't need it to be as smooth as it would be if you were making like a frosting or an icing. This is good enough. So I'm going to get ready to roll out my dough and fill my empanadas. I'm just going to clean up just a little bit and I'll be back. So now we are ready to start turning this filling that we just made into empanadas. So first step is we're going to take our pie crust and just unroll it. Roll it out into a big old circle. Slower you go, the better. If you've had this at room temperature for a little bit, this process should go a little better for you. If you just pull the crust out of the fridge and then start trying to unroll it, you're going to get a lot of tears. So, I'm just going to kind of go back over with my rolling pin just around the edges, some places where I got a little bit of cracking, just to keep it in shape. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out a circle to be the base of my empanada. Now this is my empanada press, this is my cookie cutter. It's not quite the same size. So, you'll notice I didn't roll this out really at all. I just unrolled it. So I'm going to cut this out, and then I'm going to use my rolling pin to kind of give it a little more stretch so that it's big enough to fit in my empanada press. So we'll cut this out here, kind of move our dough to the side, take our rolling pin, and just kind of go at all sides, just stretching this little guy out just a little bit, just so it's a bigger circle and covers that whole empanada press. You don't want to get it super thin. If you make these too thin, your empanadas are likely to burst, and then you'll see filling spewing out the top, and they just won't be as pretty. They're still edible. You know, we've all eaten things out of the oven that have burst. My favorite pizza rolls as a kid were the ones that burst all over the place, so, and as an adult. Alright, so that's about the same size. You can see I've rolled it out just a little bit. Now before I put that on there for good to press it down, what you want to do is take some powdered sugar and just kind of lightly dust your press. This will keep your dough from sticking when you press your press together. And so you'll have a better chance of getting your empanada out in one piece. So I'm just going to grab a little bit, like a pinch with my fingers, and just kind of sprinkle. You especially want it in these little crimps here. That's where our dough tends to stick the most, is there. So we just are going to get it nicely layered there. You may have to reapply a couple of times as you go through and making a full batch. No big deal. So you're just going to take your circle that you cut out and you're going to place it there on the press, and then you're going to start filling it. So you're going to take about a tablespoon of this cheesecake mixture that we made and add that in. You may not get a full tablespoon. I'm using the smallest size dough press that I could find, or empanada press that I could find, because I want the most empanadas possible. I want these to be little bite size that you kind of grab and just munch on. So I didn't want to go for big ones. You can do these bigger. Obviously, you'll need to add more filling, but I think they get a bit rich if you go too large with them. So we're going to take about a tablespoon of the cheese filling and about a tablespoon, I'm just eyeballing it here, of our guava paste. Place that in there together, and then we're just going to press together using our empanada press. You'll see you're going to have some dough kind of leaking out the side there. That's not a big deal. You can just kind of take your paring knife and trim that down just a little bit. There you go. And then, if you've floured it properly or powdered sugared it, if you're making savory empanadas, you can add flour to your press instead so you don't have random bits of sweetness. But this one is nicely pressed together. So I'm just going to lay it here on my baking pan, and I'm going to top it off with an egg wash. This is just one egg that I've beaten up, pre-beaten, nothing else in there. Just going to take a little pastry brush and just drizzle that on there. This is an important step to make your empanadas look brown and golden and pretty. They'll cook up just fine without it. Just won't look quite as pretty, so I always like to add that step. I'm going to show you how to do one more of these, and then I'm going to film the rest of these off camera so I don't bore you guys to death. But I'm going to show you how to do this one without using an empanada press if you don't have one. So we'll use our circle again, we'll cut it out. We're still going to try to make that circle a little bigger than the way it came. And even though we're not having to worry about using an empanada press, this circle is not huge, and most of the time we don't have huge circular cutters. So the reason I'm doing this is just giving us a little more room to add filling. You don't want to leave your appetizers or your desserts or however you're serving empanadas. You don't want to leave those lacking in filling. So we're going to put a tablespoon of each in again, and then we're just going to fold over here and start to press together with our fingers. You're going to notice you're not getting very far just pressing with your fingers. So you're going to grab a fork and just crimp around the edges. If your fork is sticking, you can dip your fork in some powdered sugar if you haven't closed it back up. And that'll give some of that resistance, same as how the little teeth on the empanada press weren't sticking after that. So you just kind of go around and crimp in. Make whatever little pattern or design you want, but you just want to make sure that you get all the edges crimped down together so that your empanada doesn't burst open and hello, and your filling just leak out. So we'll put this one over here as well. Same as before, we'll dust it with a little egg wash just to get it nice and golden while it's cooking. And then we're going to pop these in the oven. After I fill the rest of them, we'll pop them in the oven and bake them, and we'll be ready to eat. They are super quick and easy, so I'll see you back in just a few minutes after I finish filling these, and we'll get them baking. Okay, so you can see I've got all of these pressed out and onto my pan. They've all got their egg wash on them, so I'm just going to pop them into the oven. It's a 350-degree oven that I've preheated, and we're going to leave these in 20 to 25 minutes. Keep an eye on them. You want them nice and brown, but not too brown. They should feel a little soft, but definitely not like dough anymore if you touch them. So 20 to 25 minutes. I'll see you when they're done baking, and we'll take. Alright, that's it. The Yarampanadas? Yarampanadas? I don't know. I'll get it right one of these days.
It's fine.
Well, let's have it. Let's go for it. Bon AppeGeek.
Bon AppeGeek. Beautiful. I love you.
The tartness of the cream cheese with the sweetness of the guava, and it just like layers in there next to each other. It's pretty. It's
oh my goodness.
it's so good. The delayed reaction. I love it.
I have to sit for a second, and I had food in my mouth, but yeah, that's delicious. I'm not putting that down. It's gonna hold it and eat it.
No, we're just gonna eat the rest of these. We'll see y'all later. All right, that was it.
We did it.
We did it. Well, I liked it. I feel like my health is rejuvenated, and I'm feeling stealthy. You can't have two bonuses at once, so I don't know why I said that, but yeah.
It's fine.
The chicken fighting part was really weird, but whatever.
Well, you know, it just is an important part of any Far Cry episode.
Yeah, we couldn't leave it out.
No, sadly there was no chicken fighting, but there was good food. What did you guys like the best?
For me, it was the empanadas. I am a sucker for guava, and that was awesome. And then cheesecake is always good.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with anything with cheesecake in it, in my book.
One of my favorite memories from DC was midnight in DuPont Circle getting empanadas from the street cart.
Oh, nice.
It was always crowded, and you never quite knew what was in the empanadas, but they were always amazing. Yeah.
Nice. Well, for me, I gotta go with the mocktail. It tasted like summer and tropical, and it just it's exactly what I needed. And a dreary March, it was perfect. So I really liked it. I mean, everything was great, but it's gonna get my vote for favorite.
I'm gonna have to give it to the Ninja Nachos. They were delicious. I thought they were going to be too spicy, but everything kind of melded together, and I just couldn't stop eating them.
Yeah, they were super good and not too spicy at all. But they're still good, spicy enough. Like if you're like me and you like spicy stuff, you won't be like, these are dumb. If you like me, you'll like these. No, but yeah, they were really good. So if you guys made any of these yourself, we'd love to see them. Post them to social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, whatever. Use hashtag #AppeGeek. We'll be looking for them. We'd love to see what you did. We'd love to hear what you thought. And if you are looking to see more from us, you can follow us on our socials, where we are at...
Yep, we are Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all at AppeGeek Show. So the hashtag is going to be AppeGeek, but you're going to find us at AppeGeek Show.
And along those same lines, we have a website that is also AppeGeek Show. It's www.boneappegeekshow.com. There you will find blog format, all of our recipes, some fun little Easter eggs maybe about the fandom or the show that we're covering. But yeah, that's where you can find anything that you didn't take a note of or maybe you missed while you were watching the video.
We are fascinating, I know, so you just write it down.
And we have a subreddit, so if you want to, have a comment area that stays longer than like YouTube comments or place to post pictures, you can always post there as well.
But be nice, you leave in comments.
Gentle.
Be nice. I don't want to get my
I'm a
feelings
little
hurt.
fragile. It's okay. Also, if you like, you can buy us a cup of coffee. There's buy us a coffee, or the information is down below. It would just help offset some of the costs for, Ninja Nachos. They're not free. Everything will come back into our show, and we would be greatly appreciated.
And while you're down there in our description looking for our link for our coffee, don't forget to give us a like and to hit the subscribe button and tell them about what the highlight will take them to, wherever it is.
It will take you over here in the eye. You will find a link to our previous episode, which was our Ted Lasso episode. Woohoo! We made biscuits with the box. They were in a box.
Yeah, it was with the box.
It was with the box. And a bunch of other good stuff, so you can check that out here. It's also going to be down below.
And you can check out our next episode coming in 2 weeks on April 10th. We are going to be covering What We Do in the Shadows.
Yay!
Okay, well, he's gone, I guess, thrown away. Yeah, we
Photoshop me out and have a little bat.
yeah, we're definitely doing that. We have that kind of capability. All right, well, we will see you back in 2 weeks where we may or may not have some special effects bats. Most likely not, but we'll see you then. Bye-bye.